Welcome back once again to the Pitlane Pals Formula One podcast. This weekend, we are going to Abu Dhabi for the final race of the 2024 Formula One season. And I don't know, I'm kind of sad about it. I'm like, it's bittersweet.
Me too.
Because it has really been a great year. I'm hoping there's even more parity next year because the parity this year was really, really good. A lot of different teams won. A lot of different drivers won. And I'm hoping that continues into 2025. Before the regulations change, and there's probably like one dominant team in 2026 again that just gets the regulations right. And if that does happen, you know what? I hope it's Haas or something, or like Audi or something, like something just, you know what I mean? Like, no, like I just think it'd be so funny. Like, you know, like Braun GP had that miracle season because they got that one thing right, pretty much. Like they just happened to be, they got the car right. They kind of found a little loophole. Why can't Haas do that or something?
Sure,
you know?
but like, yeah, I guess.
I'm just saying, hypothetically.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I hope it's not. Hope it's not a Red Bull. Anyways, speaking of Red Bulls, this weekend we have some crazy drama going on between Red Bull driver Max Verstappen and Mercedes driver George Russell. Max and George have been beefing. The girls are fighting. In the media publicly. It's like a rap battle. They're coming back with like statements every, you know, like when Drake and Kendrick Lamar were beefing. Mm-hmm. That's what this is like again. They're just like they're like,
it's bad.
Here's his response. Here's his response. Like, every couple minutes in the news. And by the time this episode probably comes out, there'll probably be something that we're gonna miss. Up until this point though, you've been keeping me up to date. Do you have it pulled up right now? What the direct quotes were?
I'm putting it up right now, but I'm just kind of imagining how it's getting pretty funny because, like, I mean, they're in the same media pen, but it is true that you get a video of Russell shitting on Max, and then you get a video of Max shitting on Russell,
and they're like 2 feet apart from each other.
Actually, they're probably like 2 feet apart from each other.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
So I believe.
So.
Go ahead.
All right, so obviously we talked about this last time. There was some beef in Qatar, how Russell went to the FIA and pretty much what happened in qualifying pushed that to get a penalty for Max Verstappen. One grid penalty it ended up being, and there were we saw some rumors about Netflix having some special scenes of Max and Russell arguing. I believe we now actually know what was said in those scenes. Either way, it was just a massive thing about the two of them, and they got pretty mad at each other. And now we have a video of George Russell basically talking about how Max is always just very violent when something doesn't go his way, and then referring to what we would have seen in Netflix. He says that Max told him he's going to smash his head into the wall and he's going to drive into him. And...
Fight. Sorry. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
That's just a bit... Like, honestly, that's a bit far.
It is. But did you see what Max said in return?
I don't know, but he's a lot like his father.
True. He's like... This is like George Russell fighting his abusive father right now. Max said that that's not true. I didn't say it like that. He's exaggerating it again. Do you know what else I can't stand? That he attacks me in an unacceptable way with the stewards when he comes back a day later as if nothing is wrong and slaps me on the shoulder. Then I think, stay away for a while. He makes up all kinds of things that aren't true. With me, you always get the same. Here at home with the stewards, I don't change. You can't say that about everyone, but I'm not surprised with him. But he didn't really like address it. Like he just kind of he's like
brush it
off. He
off.
said he exaggerated. He didn't say he didn't say it. He said he exaggerated what he said. He's like,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see
in
when
Drive
the
to Survive.
I
can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. I love this shit.
Honestly.
And again, I hope nobody gets hurt. However, I would pay extra money. I'd pay like a $5 extra fee maybe. On my watching this weekend, I pay like $15 this month on F1 TV instead of $10. If George Russell and Max were guaranteed to be side by side for a good portion of the race.
Oh my god. Promoted because of beef.
Yeah, no, seriously, dude. The things I would do to have that happen, like in just the drama. You're gonna see Crofty on the announcing, just like, and now these two have been fighting all week, and now they're wheel to wheel, and then it's Max Verstappen crashes into George Russell. I'm just saying that would be crazy.
It's just like I feel like it's actually something that could happen, because pace wise they're not far apart, and like even if I don't know, after a pit stop and they're on different strategies, they will see each other on track.
Max has nothing to lose at this point this season either. He's not gonna let that fucker buy him in any circumstance right now.
But I don't think George does he doesn't have anything to lose either. Like George is also
True.
pretty much plain sailing. Mercedes is not going to be getting the third place in the constructors this year. They're too far apart. So it's like they both don't have anything to lose.
That's true. But
that's the good part. It's like it's Russell and Max, and those are the two people on the grid where you just always know, like,
you don't want to go wheel to wheel.
They can get feisty.
Yeah.
They can get feisty. And the only other person I can think of is literally Magnussen. And
True.
he's got like a really, really bad reputation because of that.
I think people usually just like him for it at this point. People have stopped hating on him for it. At this point, it's just like,
yeah, true.
It's just like
true.
Magnussen. We need Magnussen to stay on the grid for entertainment purposes. Like, we need the content.
He sometimes takes it very far, though.
He does.
He does.
But I won't complain.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy it personally. I like a little feisty driving with nobody getting hurt in the process. I need to keep saying that because I don't want to get canceled.
No 50G impacts, please.
Yes, tell me about it. With that being said, though, there's another Mercedes driver who is now going to be doing his last race in Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton will be finishing up with Mercedes. It'll be the final time we ever see Lewis in a Mercedes suit, probably. I mean, the chances of him ever going back.
It's going to be so weird. It's going to be so weird.
I don't like it. I still don't like it. It doesn't sit right with me. Lewis, in my heart, I know he started with McLaren originally, but even that McLaren had Mercedes logos on it. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been affiliated with Mercedes. And now to go to the team that he was practically fighting for most of his time at Mercedes, it feels wrong. I don't want to see him in a Ferrari. It was Lewis versus Seb for like so long too. Like, not for so long, I guess, but for a couple years there was a big Mercedes versus Ferrari rivalry in the mid 2010s, and like that was entertaining. Granted, Mercedes was far better, but still, that was the closest competitor. Now it seems like he's going to. It's like if he went to Red Bull, it'd give me the same weird vibe. Him going anywhere other than Mercedes gives me. He's a Mercedes driver at his core. Like, he bleeds Mercedes through and through. They're practically the Lewis Hamilton Formula One team at this point. They're like synonymous with each other. So it's hard to picture.
I agree. The only way I can imagine Lewis in a Ferrari is him coming into the team and absolutely smashing it. And that's just something I also really want for him, because I like Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I would love for him and also Charles to just absolutely game on next season. It's been a while for Ferrari, and I don't want to jinx it. But like, imagine.
Can I be honest?
Imagine he gets his 8th title in a Ferrari, dude.
If the Ferrari's good and Lewis is good in it, Charles is going to be whiny on the radio very often. We're going to hear both of them, honestly. Either way, they're both very whiny people. You know, I think Lewis a little less so. Lewis is more like, come on, guys, we need to get better, rather than like kind of shit talking. Charles definitely gives me the more like, what the fuck are we doing kind of vibe. And like, we've seen the troubles with signs build up over the past 4 years. And obviously Charles is driver 1 generally, probably, but I think he wants to be more than they give him. And like in certain races where just like he's like, come on, we got to fight for second in the championship. It's like, nobody cares about second in the drivers' championship, dude. Like even F1 this week is hyping up who's gonna get second, Lando or Charles, and it's like, does it matter? Not really. It's more like at this point, it's either first place in the drivers or who does well in the constructors. That's all I care about. So because of that tendency he has to kind of be like, guys, come on, I'm higher in the championship, even though he has no chance at winning it. against signs, and he's kind of complained about not being prioritized. I could see that being again an issue in a race against Lewis next year or in the coming years, depending on how long he stays there. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm just like, I'm hesitant to be like, no, this pairing's going to work, because I don't know. And also you're getting,
I think it's going to be,
I was just going to say that also, this is like mostly from like our perspective, but like a lot of like, there's two of the most passionate fan bases in Formula One are Lewis fans and Charles Leclerc fans by far and away. That's going to like, the Twitter discourse is going to be insane on a weekly basis. If Charles has to let Lewis buy one weekend because Lewis is quicker or something, we are never going to hear the end of that. That's what we're going to be talking about all year next year. If there's like anything like that, that is going to be the topic of next season. So I just wanted to mention that, because there's going to be some tension there for sure.
I honestly feel like it's going to be like one of either extremes. I feel like either they like get along super well and there's going to be no issues, or they're going to be getting into each other's hair. Because I feel like also Hamilton is a pretty fair driver. Like also how with Bottas it was like a different situation, but like he is the kind of guy, if at the end of his stint he didn't overtake the person in front, he would give the position back.
Until it was Nico Rosberg.
Leclerc has.
But even Lewis admits now that
Charles is not Nico.
Lewis does admit that he's a better teammate now than he was when he had Nico.
Exactly.
So I just Is that Nico Rosberg?
Yeah.
The guy who beat Lewis in Equal Machinery? Lewis Hamilton Equal Machinery?
Dude.
So I think about every time he pops on my TV screen. But anyways, go on. Sorry.
Talking about Charles though, this weekend in practice, we'll have two Leclercs in the Ferrari.
I saw that.
And this is actually a special moment because this is the first time that two brothers compete in F1 in the same team. Obviously, with the Schumachers, they've already both brothers, Michael and Ralph, have competed in F1 at the same time, but never in the same team. So in practice, I think it's first practice. I don't know which one it is. There'll be two Leclercs with the Ferrari. Have you seen anything on how they display it? Presume just with A.LEC and then Leclerc with the normal LEC. You know?
That's a good question.
You can't have.
That's a good question.
Leclerc.
Wasn't there somebody recently who had a similar abbreviation to somebody else and they had to change it?
You probably in F2 somewhere, I think.
Maybe, I don't know.
But I'm not sure.
And maybe I'm forgetting something. But anyways, I'm not sure. I kind of think it'd be funny if there was just two Leclercs. But I have a feeling they're probably going to do, honestly, to keep the three abbreviation
Leclerc
thing,
1, Leclerc 2.
They're probably
funny.
just going to put his name as Arthur.
Like ART or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Unless they don't. Or maybe they'll change it to like LCR or something, like a different abbreviation of the last name. I don't know, like it's like something like different combination. I don't know, dude. Because Zhou Guan Yu Zhou, depending on how you want to say it, it depends because he uses his Chinese name, so it's flipped around. So on the grid it says ZHO, of course, because his last name is his first name in China, I believe. It's like a cultural thing, and that's what he chose to do. So they could like mix around and just put like Arthur's abbreviation probably as his first or something.
I'd honestly rather see the A.LEC, but like
how do you fit three letters?
That can get very, very, very
hard for them to do.
Close.
I don't know. That's gonna be the big thing. Could we like bet money on this? Can I go on like a gambling website and be like, how are they gonna present? Like, what's favored by 500? I don't know if
can we not?
I don't know if gambling culture is as big as in Europe as it is in America right now. But sports gambling is like huge here. So anytime you turn your TV on, it's like, oh, bet on this obscure thing, and it could be like,
seriously?
Are the fans gonna chant this during the like? People were betting on the president elect.
What?
Yeah, you can bet on that.
Who's okay. President elect. I did know, but chanting.
Like, there's a bunch of niche stuff you can bet on, like crazy sports betting websites. It could literally be like odds that so and so does this dance. If you want,
are you serious?
I'm serious, dude. Like, that shit happens.
Bro, I'm betting on Stroll finishing outside the points. I'm going to be so rich.
That's probably, well,
money
to
glitch.
be fair, that's probably favored by like 1,000. So like, if you were to bet that, you'd have to bet a lot of money to actually profit anything on it.
You seem to know too much about this, mate.
I gamble in my fair share. I'm American. It's legal here.
Jesus.
It's legal here.
Jesus.
Not just in Vegas anymore. We used to have to take boats out across the country borders to go gamble, and now it's just on our phones. So, what are you gonna do? Anywho, yeah, that was just a random side tangent about gambling. But no, I am interested to see. I do wonder slightly if it's like, I don't know enough about Arthur Leclerc to say that if they're doing this to please Charles or if he deserves it. I know he's good, but I don't know if he's like that good.
I don't know where he is in the standings right now.
Why don't you give it a look? I don't think he's like super.
Production team is on it.
Like I haven't heard any talks about him joining F1 really ever. So I'm not sure. Jack Doohan will also be racing this weekend. Side note, Jack Doohan will be replacing Esteban Ocon for the final race of the 2024 season. And Alpine is trying to say that it's because they want to let him do the post-season test with Haas, but some people think that's bullshit. There's a debate going on about it, because people also think that Alpine could have just let him do the test while still finishing the season, but I don't know enough about that to comment. But I am excited to see Doohan. But I do think it's a weird decision to make when you do have the Constructors' Championship on the line. I'm watching you like very intently look at your phone right now.
Well, he's not in F2 anymore because he finished his last season 15th, right, in the standings. He did get into the points and he was on the podium in Melbourne, but 15th is not too great, right?
Mm-mm.
And he's spending this year as a development driver for the Scuderia team. So he's already in the Ferrari family, even though...
Which, again, just makes you wonder...
His brother's already in it.
Is it because he's got the Leclerc name? Who knows? The Mick Schumacher treatment, perhaps.
Is there a different Ferrari Junior in F2 right now? There must be, no?
I'm thinking. Well, Oliver Behrman.
Yeah. But he's already got his... I presume Behrman is number one. Behrman was number one, and then Leclerc... Oh, Arthur Leclerc is the second one because he's the development driver. So I feel like it's a bit of both, in a sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, I obviously, it's like the same argument you make with Lance Stroll. Like, Lance Stroll isn't the worst driver on the planet or anything. Like, he obviously, like, he would whoop me in a race.
He would beat us, probably.
Probably? 100% would. But it's just like he gets that little edge to keep him in F1, which is the problem.
Money.
Yeah. Which is why people care. So it's like not like Arthur Leclerc, I'm not saying, is like a bad driver. It's just like, does he deserve it more than other people? Maybe not. Maybe so. Who knows? But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And then I just kind of went on my Doohan tangent. I'm a little interested to see what he does with Alpine this year, this race, and then into next year. Again, I think this is a weird thing though, where like drivers will come into the sport for like a race, like Nick DeVries, for example, and just have a good performance because they've got nothing to lose, maybe. And then, like, so, like, I could see Doohan having a good weekend, is what I'm saying. And then, like, maybe coming next year, he's a little slower than we expect, because of this. Like, it's like how I think, like, Behrman had a few good performances. I don't think he'll be, like, that consistently that quick all the time. Because there's usually, like, a weird drop-off. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, when these drivers get these opportunities, they usually do better. Than when they actually fully occupy the seat and we get to see them more regularly, because consistency is a big thing.
Right.
So I don't know, but I'm not hating on him. I just think that I could see him doing well this weekend and maybe exceeding expectations a little bit.
I think, I mean, at the end of the day, Colapinto came in and he was doing really well instantly.
And then wasn't.
So, well,
he just keeps crashing.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah, it's been a few tough races.
Yeah, but he just kind of keeps.
He did come in and was just very, very quick from the get go.
And there was a moment where we were talking about in this podcast: is he going to beat Alex Albon? Because he was racking up points, and it was a little concerning for Albon.
True.
Not for me.
True.
But Franco Colapinto seems to be out of any contract talks and definitely out of a seat for next year. And Red Bull lost interest in him at some point for some reason. But that
Crashing probably.
But my question with that though is, okay, if you lose interest in him, actually no, they did say who they were going to promote if in the world where Perez gets demoted or dropped. And I'm going to pull up. I forget. They did say, or there was an article saying at least who it would probably end up being. Just give me a second. Production team's working on it.
Production team's on it, but like,
Oh, here. Sorry.
is there actually
Isaac
I didn't
Hadjar?
know that. Oh, okay. Okay. So in the RB team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not
Yes.
into Red Bull,
Yes. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So in a world where he gets dropped, one of
yeah.
these guys goes up. It wouldn't be Colapinto that replaces him, which is unfortunate for him, but yeah, the reality. And
True.
so yeah, it's I'm interested to see. I think this weekend, though, on that note, with Perez being dropped, confirmed. I guess we're kind of just integrating this now. I don't know if I fully said that earlier, but Sergio Perez has been dropped for the 2025 Formula One season, pretty much officially, it seems. And in that case, where that is an announcement, and that is true, it makes me wonder what has to be going through Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda's heads for this last race here, because they're both going into this with a lot on the line. And this is going to be the last impression. Remember, first impressions and last impressions are very important. I think this race is very, very important for Yuki Tsunoda, more than it is for Lawson. I think there's also another thing here where Honda is still Red Bull's engine supplier. Honda's Japanese.
Okay.
It's going to be their last season supplying them. Somebody made an argument for this, and maybe this is something that I'm just, maybe there's more to it than this, but something would be interesting is that you see them being like, okay, we have Honda. Let's give Yuki and Honda their moment for 1 year, see how it works. If it doesn't, you drop them for Lawson. Because there was a big thing where Honda kept Yuki around, right? Like that or they're part of the reason that they chose Yuki for sure, being the close relationship they have with Red Bull. And so it just could be interesting to see, just where Yuki and Lawson finish this weekend and how the team evaluates it. Because I think if Yuki does finish like in the points this weekend and Lawson doesn't, there's a pretty good case that Yuki deserves the seat. But in a world where I think Lawson outperforms him in any capacity, it's going to be tricky because he started and finished in front of him. Whether there was, they've been pretty close. I think Yuki's probably had the edge in more races, but Lawson's had the bigger gaps when he's had them. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because when Lawson first came in, though, Yuki was having some DNF issues. There was a couple mistakes. So I don't know. I literally, I have no idea who they're going to pick. And I know you say they like Lawson more, and that probably is true. But Lawson has also proven to be a bit of a hothead himself now. So I don't think they have that argument on Yuki anymore. Lawson's almost been more of a hothead, actually, because Yuki's he talks, but he doesn't really do anything physically. Like, he's not out there with Perez wheel to wheel. Lawson was going pretty hard at it. He then shit talked and then did the same thing with Magnussen, and so it's been a reoccurring thing. That definitely something they can take into consideration.
I was really surprised, honestly. I've been kind of following Lawson for a while now, and I was also looking into him in his Super Formula days, and as he was actually in F2. But he's quite the hothead.
He is.
And I didn't really know that. At least I never noticed it.
I think Lawson maybe this is wrong, and again, I don't know these people, I'm making an assumption, but I think if you were to ask me and say, who is more likely to have a problem with Max, Yuki or Lawson, I'm saying Lawson.
True. I honestly have to agree with you, because I feel like Yuki would still give the position back.
He just bitch about it afterwards.
Lawson is Yuki would bitch about it afterwards, but I feel like Lawson would be the kind of driver who would not do that.
I think after the third time, he'd be he'd like make a move, or at least where he'd like prolong it for a long period of time. Like he wouldn't want to give it back right away. Like he'd cause some trouble. Like that is just the kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I like Lawson. I like the competitive edge. I like that he comes into F1 and kind of has this like this, fuck all of you. I'm here to perform kind of mentality. I like that, but I do think for the eyes of Red Bull, they have to.
That's not good.
Because again, the main thing we've argued against Yuki was that he might be too much of a hothead for Red Bull to want to take him. But now Lawson kind of is too. The first thing that got memed of Liam Lawson in Formula One was a song. I don't know if you saw that like animated song where it's like, it's like, fuck you, Red Bull. Fuck. Like that's literally how the song starts. And it's like, I'm Liam Lawson. Like it's this whole thing. And it's like, it's just like him saying fuck you to everybody. Then just saying, I'm Liam Lawson. I'm Liam Lawson. Somebody out there listening knows what I'm talking about. It was pretty big. It's like the first thing.
I've never seen
You're not
anything on
chronically online enough, unfortunately. You're not.
That's
You're not on the internet as much as I am. Wait, let me.
I think we just have a big time zone difference, so you don't know when I'm actually online. And to be honest, I spam you with Instagram stuff. I normally send you more Instagram videos than you send me.
Yeah, I don't. It's like the "Get Out of My Way." I'm Liam Lawson song.
Jesus, I've never heard of.
You've never heard
of that.
I can't even find it on YouTube. Actually, maybe it's not as big as I thought it was. It was definitely on Twitter and TikTok though. It's like an animated like thing where they were like, he's like, "Get out of my way, get out of my way. I'm Liam Lawson. I'm Liam Lawson." But anyways, my point is that was what was made off of him off the rip. Like that's the kind of guy he is.
Okay.
What?
Jesus.
This is a reason. No. I gotta prove a point now. Hold on. I'm proving a point.
All right. Well, you prove a point.
Hold on.
Get out of my way!
Okay.
I'm Liam Lawson! I'm Liam Lawson! You're jealous that I'm quicker! Here's my middle finger, Liam Lawson! I'm Liam Lawson!
It actually wasn't as big as I thought it was. It seems to have only gotten 86,000 likes. But still, I'm cool and hip with the kids.
Are you okay, mate?
I made a genuine argument. I'm like, I'm gonna stand on this hill over this. This is funny. I need a short out of me just like crashing out over Liam Lawson's song that you did not know about. Anywho, moving on.
I'll write that down, mate. Don't worry.
Thank you. Take notes. No, but anyway, my in more serious note, I do think though that I literally have no idea who's gonna get promoted. They're very even on that, and I have no idea where that could go.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You think you have no idea, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And
I need some insight.
We've got a helmet. We've got a helmet to rate.
A helmet. It's the
I think
George
it's
Russell
only
one, right?
one. It's the George Russell one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hamilton's got one. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen one.
You would think he would.
But yeah, I think so. But like, nope, doesn't seem like it.
No, interesting. Maybe he's like, fuck this Mercedes team. I'm out of here.
I guess.
No,
But like,
I doubt that.
doesn't really seem like him.
No, definitely not. I'm just kidding. But no, it is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the helmet that George Russell had is pretty sweet. I think it's a nice little sentiment send off. They've gotten along decently well, actually better than I expected them to. So
I agree.
it's a sweet little send off for a driver that has a crazy legacy with the team. I mean, probably the biggest legacy with one team since Michael Schumacher and Ferrari, easy. And honestly, I think it exceeds Michael Schumacher with Ferrari. Because I think Michael Schumacher with Ferrari wasn't his whole career. It wasn't his whole story. With Lewis, it really is. I mean, he was with McLaren, but 8 constructors titles in a row, 7 drivers, 6 with Mercedes is crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Just a legacy.
What a career.
What a career. I mean, it's not like he's retiring, but it's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Maybe he's really good with
maybe in a
Ferrari. He
few
stays
years-
around forever, but
not forever, but maybe in a few years we're gonna say Mercedes was just the beginning, and then he's just gonna win more constructors with Ferrari. Imagine.
The thing is that it's gonna be so weird next year. I mean, McLaren's quick, Red Bull's quick, Max Verstappen's quick. Fucking Mercedes could maybe stay in the mix as well. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fought season, but they definitely have the best driver lineup in the sport on paper.
I agree.
I think number 2 is Piastri and Norris, but I don't think.
Very strong driver, perhaps, but the both of them.
Yeah, but unless Lewis is right about himself, where he's like, I'm just not quick anymore, man. I doubt that. I just think he needs a car that suits him a bit more, and I think he needs a new environment, change of pace. Because F1's very mental, so I think he just might be out of it right now. But,
yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, I don't know. Anything else to talk about? Oh, I guess we gotta rate the helmet, huh? The helmet is like. So are we going off physical appearance, or am I going to include the sentimental value in this?
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go of like what it looks like. It's not a great design. It's only sentimental based, so like, it's a cute helmet. I'm gonna give it like maybe a 6.5 or something. It's cute.
It's like a 7.
Yeah, around that. It's not like it's obviously when we rate helmets, it's more design based. So it's
I guess we got to keep the sentimental value out of it.
Exactly.
Besides that one time I rated Joe's helmet extremely high because of his cat.
Still can't believe that, mate. That's crazy.
Anyways, some 3 race predictions each for the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the season. My first prediction is going to be that I'm going to say there'll be 2 McLarens on the podium. And okay, that's one. And I was gonna make this one thing, but I'm gonna say this is 2 separate things. I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket. Somehow, some way, Lewis Hamilton will finish on the podium at the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And finally,
Right.
I'm gonna say that Yuki Tsunoda, for the last time this season, I'll say it, but I'm not gonna say it this way. He'll beat Liam Lawson. I'll say that he will get points at the 2024
Fair.
Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Fair.
Which I think also insinuates that
Right.
he beats Lawson. I doubt they both finish in the points, but I'm gonna say he's gonna get points, and that will secure him, hopefully, the Red Bull seat in 2025. Anyways, those are my predictions, my 3 predictions. So
Jesus.
2 McLarens,
Jesus.
Lewis, and then Yuki in the top 10.
I'm gonna start off with McLaren. I'm gonna say McLaren will be winning the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah.
Not Ferrari. We'll go to McLaren.
I think if mine comes
I'm
true,
gonna
yours
say-
will also come true. So those kind of just cross each other out. But
Yeah. I will say Perez is gonna finish his last race outside of the points.
I thought you were
going
gonna do like a sentimental thing and be like, he's gonna finish his last race with Red Bull in the points. He's gonna get a top 5 finish, maybe.
Not happening, mate. No, not happening.
Podium finish,
Absolutely
maybe?
No way. Absolutely
For the
no
guy
way.
in
I
the
don't
Red
think
Bull?
so. I don't think so.
Okay.
And lastly, just quickly look into the standings here, because I want to check. Because obviously the standings lower down the grid are also pretty close.
True.
Um,
Alpine's at 59, Haas is at 54, and RB's at like 40 something.
Yeah, 46, 54, and 59. I'm going to say Haas is going to be finishing the Constructors' Championship in front of Alpine.
Ooh, okay.
Gasly's had quite the great run, but I think they're going to be nicking it.
I hope so.
So
Honestly.
Perez,
I hope so.
sentimental send-off outside of the points. McLaren winning the Constructors, and Haas overtaking Alpine.
How else could
Constructors.
Perez go?
I know, right? Feels like appropriate
Feels like it would
send-off.
be wrong any other way. To kill a tradition on its last run. You know, I used to defend Perez too. Like in 2022 or 2023, sorry, when Max was on the run, I was like, hey, they've both won 2 races. this could go down to the wire. I said that at
Yeah,
one point.
yeah.
That was an argument I was making at one point.
Yeah. You know how Jake always says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I guess in that kind of manner,
And
even though
with that
it's
logic,
extremely broken.
with
that logic,
let's keep Perez
um,
outside of the points this weekend.
Also, we just have to quickly say, obviously, Jake is in Abu Dhabi right now. I think he's already there. I presume
Should
so.
be.
Championship is very, very close. It's actually 0.5 points between Hajar, I believe, and
And
Borleto. And obviously, we are
Team
supporting Team Invicta with
Mhm.
with Jake at the rear jack.
We can't have Jake come
So,
back from Abu Dhabi and like upset.
Nah,
we
dude.
need him in a good mood.
We can't have that.
We can't.
We need him in a
'cause
good
we're
mood.
gonna have to ask him about the finish, and then he's gonna be like, yeah, we lost, and that's not gonna be fun for anybody. So, for the sake of the Pitlane Pals podcast, Gabriel Bortoletto, we are cheering you on because we need him to be happy, to come back for an episode. You know, no hate to you, Hajar, but yeah, no, Gabriel Bortoletto needs to be a Formula 2 champion before he starts his career at Sauber next year. So.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. You want to stream on Apple Music, Spotify. And we're actually on Apple Music now, by the way. I haven't mentioned that, but we are actually there finally.
Look at us go.
Yeah, look at me go. I actually did something. But no, follow us on all the places. Stream wherever you prefer to stream. Any support is and always will be appreciated. But thank you guys for listening to the episode if you got this far, and goodbye.
Goodbye.